In a shocking turn of events, the government has officially declared that there will be no further cost of living payments for UK residents in 2025. This announcement from the Labour-led administration comes as a devastating blow to millions who have relied on these payments to navigate the relentless financial pressures stemming from rising inflation, skyrocketing energy costs, and skyrocketing everyday expenses. The payments, first introduced during the previous government's tenure, were a critical lifeline for those already grappling with financial instability. Initially designed as a one-off support mechanism, the cost of living payments targeted individuals receiving specific benefits or tax credits, providing them with much-needed assistance during turbulent economic times. Eligibility was straightforward, tied to qualifying dates between 2022 and 2024, and payments were automatically processed into claimants' bank accounts without the need for extensive applications. This simplicity was widely appreciated, but now that the government has pulled the plug on this emergency support, the sense of security it provided has evaporated. The official update on the government website makes it abundantly clear: the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, has no intentions of distributing further cost of living payments. For the millions still battling financial hardship, this decision feels like a betrayal, leaving them to fend for themselves without the safety net they had come to rely on. These payments were not just helpful, they were essential for covering rent, heating, groceries, and other basic needs. The government's insistence that alternative forms of support remain available does little to ease the anxiety of those who now face a precarious financial future. Moreover, the DWP has issued a stark warning to those who may have received payments in error, stating that they could be asked to return the funds. This announcement has only heightened the fears of recipients, many of whom are now questioning their eligibility status during the qualifying periods. If you suspect you may have missed out on a payment you were entitled to, the advice is clear: contact your benefits office without delay to clarify your situation. The ramifications of discontinuing these payments extend far beyond individual households. Advocacy groups, charities, and economic policy experts are sounding alarms about the broader implications. While temporary payments provide short-term relief, they fail to address the deeper issues of poverty and financial instability. Morgan Wild, acting policy director at Citizens Advice, pointed out that an increasing number of individuals are reaching out for help, facing financial collapse and unable to meet their basic needs. His comments underscore the dire circumstances many find themselves in, with rising energy bills and unaffordable housing pushing them further into crisis. What the country desperately needs is not just short-term fixes but long-term solutions that genuinely elevate incomes and enhance living standards. Economists and social welfare advocates are united in their belief that the government should prioritize reforms that foster sustainable economic security over one-off payments that offer only fleeting relief. This means addressing fundamental issues such as inadequate wages, lack of affordable housing, and strengthening public services to protect those most vulnerable to falling into poverty. The timing of this decision raises serious concerns, especially as household debt in the UK reaches alarming heights. Food banks are inundated with requests, and individuals are forced to make impossible choices between heating their homes and putting food on the table. Those who had hoped for a government that would take a more compassionate and comprehensive approach to these issues may feel utterly disillusioned by this announcement. The pressing question remains: if not now, when? And if not through these payments, how will the government support its most vulnerable citizens? This decision also reignites discussions about societal values regarding social support and financial safety nets. Is temporary assistance truly sufficient to combat systemic inequality? Critics argue that discontinuing cost of living payments without a well-thought-out long-term strategy could exacerbate the divide between those barely managing and those who are already falling through the cracks. Politically, the Labour government's refusal to extend these payments in 2025 will likely spark debate among constituents who anticipated a more proactive approach to social welfare. With inflation still impacting essential goods and energy prices remaining historically high, this decision may be seen by some as an inability to respond to the pressing needs of working-class and low-income communities. While the government faces immense pressure to manage public finances, reduce debt, and stabilize the economy, for the millions who depended on these payments, fiscal prudence feels irrelevant when basic necessities are at stake. As we face this uncertain future, the government's termination of the cost of living payment program marks a significant shift in the landscape of financial support. Households are left to navigate a turbulent economic environment without the direct assistance they have come to rely on. Although other benefits remain available, the end of this specific scheme signifies a loss of straightforward, immediate support that was, for many, a lifeline. Staying informed is crucial in these challenging times. If you have questions about your entitlements or require assistance navigating the benefits system, reach out to your local Citizens Advice or the appropriate DWP office. Remember, you are not alone. and there are resources available to help you. The landscape of financial support may be changing, but that does not mean you have to face it unprepared.